Hi, good afternoon, and welcome back to Insurance 101 by Trusted Capital Insurance Brokerage, Inc. This segment, I wanted to talk about basically hosting a party at your home because the holidays are coming up, and I know that my girlfriend and I, we actually, before we decided to go out for Halloween this year, we decided to have our friends and things of that nature come to our home prior to leaving the house. So it got me thinking, of course, because the holidays are coming up and everybody invites their friends and family over, but you want to make sure that you have the right protection in order to protect yourself and to protect those guests that you have. So I actually jotted down a couple of things that you might want to consider when hosting a party. So you always want to make sure when hosting a party just to try and be a good neighbor. And what I try and do is those neighbors that I do like, I will try and invite them over and say, hey, I will be having a party on this particular day at this time. You're more than welcome to come. And those neighbors that I don't quite care for, what I will do is just give them a courtesy and letting them know that I am having a party. So you just kind of always want to be respectful of your neighbors in your neighborhood. But you also want to check your homeowner's policy as well, because in the event that, let's say that a fire breaks out during the course of this party, when let's say it's Thanksgiving and here it is, you're cooking this turkey, or you decided to deep fry your turkey this year and you put the deep fryer a little too close to the house. Now you catch the house on fire and now the whole eaves is up in smoke, so on and so forth. So you want to make sure that you have enough liability coverage in order to cover the damages. And next year I would actually maybe advise that you might want to cater it and get a turkey catered instead of doing the deep fryer thing, but hey, you never know. Then you also want to make sure, in the event that you have guests coming to your house, that you kind of want to try and limit the amount of alcohol that everyone intakes. Now, I know that that is very hard to do, especially dealing with, I want to say, people of my culture, my Chinese. We have a tendency to drink. So it's one of those things. And some of my girlfriends, their drink of choice is Ray and nephew, and I tell them all the time I'm not playing with Ray or his nephew. So, you might want to just try and just limit the alcohol intake, because in the event that someone actually leaves your home or a party drunk, you can actually be sued. So that is where the liability portion of your homeowner's policy might have to kick in. So you might want to just see if you can always call them a cab, if you can get them to spend the night at your house, or just make sure that everyone that comes has a designated driver, especially those people you don't want in your house for too long, because at this point, if it's someone, you brought someone with you and that person is acting up, I'm going to have to ask you and your guests to kindly leave, but I will pay for your cab to get home. Now, another thing that I always say is make sure that any of your jewelry is put up. So what I mean by your jewelry is if you look at some of my previous videos, you'll notice I talk about something called a personal articles floater. So this is the time where we actually, during this time of year, we tend to pull out our nice things, our diamonds tennis bracelets, our rings, our watches, so on and so forth. So you just want to make sure that those things are insured and make sure that your appraisals are up to date. Call your insurance company and say, hey, I just need to make sure, is my engagement ring or so on, or watch, or whatever it is that insured underneath my policy? Now, what most insurance companies will tell you is that in the event that you have something that is worth $1,000 or more, they're going to tell you to schedule that item, due to the fact that in the event, if there is a loss and there is no schedule in place, there would be no coverage. So I don't want your rings or your watches or things of that to go missing because somebody decided to invite cousin Bernie, which we all know cousin Bernie's a little happy with the fingers. However, now cousin Bernie done stole your Rolex and that Yachtmaster is missing. So being that we don't want anybody to go into the trunk this year, what I am going to suggest is that we actually make sure that our insurance policies are up to date. Now, you want to make sure that Your damages to your stuff will be protected. So that's where you look to see what your contents are covered for. So your contents coverage is anything that you take your home, you shake it upside down, and anything that falls out, that's exactly what you're going to walk away with. So you want to make sure that your contents is covered. I know personally I have a sterling silver set that each and every single year, and a Lennox set that I actually serve, my turkey and things of that nature on. So I do have my silverware scheduled, because this is a very expensive silverware set that my mother has passed down to me, or I don't really think she realizes that I have it. I took this a couple of years ago from her. But mommy, if you're watching, and I think you asked me where your Lennox serving dish was. Hi, I have it. Love you too. So you want to make sure that these things are scheduled because of the values, of the values of the items, and you want to make sure that in the event that these things are broken, damaged, stolen, whatever the case may be, that they would be covered, and you can go and purchase these things as you wish back. So if you have any questions, concerns, or anything of that nature, I would love for you to leave me a comment. Don't forget to click on that like button and subscribe to my channel. And like I always tell everybody, I do have my insurance license for the state of New York. I am able to access many markets outside of the state of New York and even write business there due to the connections and things that I have. But prior to making any type of insurance decisions, what I always want for you to do is make sure that you talk to your local agent, check the rules and regulations in your state, due to the fact that insurance is regulated by the state. So once again, I want everyone to have a wonderful day. Thank you so much again for watching Insurance 101 by Trusted Capital Insurance Brokerage Inc. Have a great day.